Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CMIT's video session 244. So basically in today's video, we will actually try to have bit more hands-on related to union, which we learned previously. So suppose that there's a scenario where you need to find the total count, or let's say you need to, aggregate certain measures. Let's say we have the expected revenue, for example, if you want to find the total sum of the expected revenue, or it can be any other measures as well. So how we can go about for that? Firstly, we will do a very simple scenario related to finding the total count. Let's say we will build a data set. We will just show me the total count. Like through union, we understood how we can actually have different, like they just combine different number of rows, right? But let's say if I, at the end of the day, just want to get a final input of the total count, how that can be done through different data sets, of course, through different data streams. So clicking on the Analytics Studio, I will just duplicate this tab because in one tab we will have we will have this total count, okay? And in another tab, we will actually check what is the complete, whether we are getting the final result or not. So here, let me open this one as well. And finally, I will take the help of the recipe account. We'll add the data set. So that will be always the first step. Just remember that, like before going to SAQL and writing any kind of SQL code, if it is related to different data sets, definitely you have to add this. I'm not using the word streams because through two different variables, you can use the same data set. But when you are using two different data set, you always have to ensure this is the first step which you follow to add those data sets over there. Otherwise, the query won't run. Okay. So now I will go to this particular SQL. So I think I don't need all this. Now, let's say I want to see the total count. Right now, you see we are getting the total count for 100. Of course, I removed all those lines. If I just add those lines here, you can see it's giving you the total count, right? So count of Q1. Now I also want to see the count, but I want to see the complete count of records coming from both docs. So how to go about that? Now here already we have two different variables, which is completely fine. So firstly, what I'm going to write is Q1 equal to, because I just want to find the total count. So I will write Q1 equal to group Q1 by all. Okay. That's it. And the same thing I'm going to write for Q2 as well. So I can just copy it from here. That is fine. Okay. And finally, I will just generate this one. So Q1 equal to, for each Q1, generate count of, okay, count as, let me name this as count itself. Okay. And the same thing I'm going to write for Q2 as well. So not an issue over there. So that's the thing. We will check one by one if both of them are working fine or not. So I will just comment out this one as of now. And here, so I'm just loading this. Let me see if I'm getting the proper count. So as you can see, I'm getting the proper count for the first one, which is 1008. Okay. That's how it is. So if you look over here, that is the exact count, 1008. And let me check for my external log. What is the count? It is 224. So here I will run the query. And it's showing me 224. So both of them are correct up till here. Okay. That is the line number 3 and 7. It's showing me the exact count. Now, how you will find the total count, right? Because that's the idea over here. So what I'm going to do is, firstly, I will write Q3 equal to, okay, union Q1 comma Q2. Cool. You will understand this step by step. Not an issue over there. Now I will run the query once again. Stream arguments union must have been projected. Okay, so I'm sorry. Here it should be Q2. Okay, so that will be Q2, right? I have written Q1 over there. It will be Q2. So as you can see, with Q3 equal to union Q1 comma Q2, both of the numbers now I'm getting over here. Okay, so that is completely fine. That's what the union does. It basically helps you to add the rows. So there you have Q1 where show me the count of rows, and then I had the Q2 which showed me the count of rows from external. And by union, it's just came one after the other, which is how it is coming. But I need to find the summation, so I'm going to do that. So now you're going to just write Q3 equal to group Q3 by all. Okay. And finally, you will just generate this one. So Q3 equal to, for each Q3, count as Okay. Or maybe I can just write count as count. Okay. Or I think sum of count, right? So we have to go for sum of count because we are doing a summation, isn't it? So we are doing a summation of these two. So it will be like sum of count as count because this count is basically that column name. So now let's run the query. Error at line number 3, position 1. For the sum of count as so for each Q3. Okay, I didn't write the term generate. Okay, so I have to write the term generate. Now let's run the query. Now, as you can see, I'm getting that complete count 1232. That was the thing. Earlier we also got that number of records. If you remember the last lens which I have built, that is, the simple union SQL. If you see, like here, let's go to well. Oh, okay. Let me go to SQL mode. That's fine. And if you see, the last record was actually 1232, right? So that's fine. We got the complete count. Now in this way, you can do some other variations. So if there are some other measures field which are there, you can do a variation of that and you can cross check as well. So just to get the complete count, you can like this is one of the application of union, but of course you have to follow the further steps, which is this one, which is simple, which we already practiced a lot. Okay. Now let's say if you have we want to see the complete sum of annual revenue just for an example. So here, what I'm going to do is, let's say I just write select sum of, and I'm going for annual revenue. Okay. So select sum of annual revenue from account. So this is my internal log. Okay, it's taking a bit of time. What I'm going to do, this is my external, by the way, ABC116. So here also I will do the same thing. I will just check the complete sum of annual revenue. So here it's already there. Let me just run this. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is the complete summation. Okay. Sum is quite a huge number. And here also I'm getting that this is also quite a huge number if you see. Okay. But you can do the complete summation over here as well. So let's say here I just write, okay, first of all, let me just save it. So let's say I just write uh, total count, total record count, total record count, total count two box. Okay. And I'm going to mention it as, sorry, not recipe data set, but SAQL app. That is fine. Now we can have different variations. So for example, let's say I want to go for sum itself. Let's say sum of annual revenue. Okay. So I'm going to write sum of annual revenue. And let's say I just write over here something like sum. Okay. And we will check one by one, of course. So let me do one thing. Let me comment out all this line. Yeah, this is the sum. And if you see that is matching over here, 149463, something which I see over here as well. That's amazing. And now let me go for the second one. So here, what I will write, I will again just map this same thing over here. Let me just copy it and paste it over here. Make sure the annual revenue identified. Okay, most probably I think from here I don't have the annual revenue, right? So that's why it's throwing an error. What I can do is I can quickly like enable that field for sure. So I can go to data manager. I need to enable that field. Freeze session 2. Look at the external account. And of course, I can just enable that field annual revenue. It's taking time to do. So I don't have it right now. Okay, I think I also have to do the sync. Let me see if there's any other field. But currently I don't have any other field. What I have to do is I have to actually first of all sync it. So here, basically, I have to go for that external account and I have to enable that field first of all. In recipe, I could have, basically here, if you see this account, so whenever you're pulling from external org, you have to enable the field. There's no other way. Through internal, you could have done directly on the recipe. But when it comes to external log, you have to like go for connect and you have to pull in that particular field. So let me save it. And of course, I will just run this particular sync. Also, right? And yeah, let's monitor this, not an issue. Okay, so as you can see, this ran successfully. Now what I will do is I will come back to this recipe and very quickly I will just enable that field. So as you can see, this came up over here. I will just enable it. And of course, I will just click on save and run. Fine. And definitely, once again, we can just monitor this from here. So let's see when the recipe starts running. So yeah, this is running. Now we will just monitor this. So as you can see, this ran successfully. Now, definitely let me just come back over here. What I was doing, and I will just copy this one and let me just refresh this just to ensure we get all those fields which we needed. And once again, I will just paste it over here. Now I think it should run. So let me just click on run query. As you can see, this is the number and this is also exactly matching. Now finally, we can go step by step. So let me uncomment this line. Okay. So again, you press control plus, that backslash. So this backslash, if you press along with your control, you will be able to uncomment as well. Fine. So now if I run it, we'll be able to see two different numbers over here. Okay. So of course, now I will uncomment this 9 as well. And here, of course, I will just write the appropriate field name. So I will just write sum. Now remember here it is this sum which you write, this is nothing but a column name. Okay. So don't get confused over there. Like it is sum, maybe I could have written something else as well. Let's say something like, I don't know, like total maybe. Okay. You never know, like total if you can write. Okay. I will show that part later. But as of now, like this is just a field name and I will just display this as sum as well over here. Okay. Total sum of annual revenue. Okay. Something like that. And let me run the query. So if you add both of the numbers, you're going to get something like this. And as I mentioned, this is just a column name. Like maybe I could have written something like total over here. Okay. And here also, maybe I could have written something like total. And finally here also. So that's nothing but a column name. So don't get confused over there. And as you can see, like this is the complete number. I'm not saving this because this was total count of records, but this is the logic related to finding the total annual revenue if you want to find out. So yeah, that is all about this video. I hope you understood further application of union. This is the way we can find the total count or, the sum of annual revenue or any kind of aggregation. Like if you want to find, the maximum, let's say, related to both the or an average, you can also go for that. So if there are some two different measures from two different nodes, those kind of uh, measures can be, those type of aggregation can be done as well. So yeah, that's it about this video. Let's meet very soon in our next